Well, all I could say is before getting on X39, I was post COVID and was really pretty healthy. We had a very rough year last year with COVID, but after that, I really had no aches and pains. I was feeling really fantastic, but I had run into Amy and Bob Campbell. Thank goodness I did because my husband is the one that I had the concerns about. And I will tell you some things that happened to me that were so surprising, but I really wanted it for my husband. And I'll go into that in a few minutes. But let me just tell you, I'm thinking that we're going to help Mark. And next thing I know, I have never been a morning person ever in my life. I am sleeping deeper. That was within probably a couple weeks. Sleeping so deeply, I would tell Mark that I could remember my dreams. They were so vivid. They were like in full color. And then I also thought, my gosh, I could remember conversations and just very unusual for me. But anyways, I'd wake up refreshed. That was the best part because I've never been a morning person. And it was very shocking. When I think about the energy and stamina that I had when I woke up, I think the best part of that is I've never been very consistent with my working out and stuff since COVID. And I kind of got out of that routine and I just wanted to get up and go work out. And now I'm walking something like 12 to 18,000 steps. I'm chasing my grandchildren all around. I come home after feeling like I'm in boot camp, but I still keep going all night long. I just can't believe it. But when I hit the bed and I want to go to sleep, bam, I am just asleep. And that has never happened in my life. So that's really important for me. I also, being half Japanese, everyone always tells me for a 67-year-old, goodness gracious, you don't even have any wrinkles, but I did have wrinkles. Believe me, I was starting to get really upset because I had some fine lines and wrinkles here and some brown spots and it was getting, I was getting some crepey skin on here. And I thought, ooh, this isn't good. Well, since it's been 3.5 months that we've been on X39 patches and the first thing I noticed is my sister, I went to go visit my sister and she said, what are you doing? What are you using? And I just thought, I don't know what you're talking about. And she said, you used to always have those really deep lines by your, because I guess I smile too much or something, and I won't wear sunglasses. And so she told me, that they were getting better because I had them in my eyebrows and kind of deep. And so I started looking at it more closely and I said, oh my gosh, she's right. I can't believe it. So I've been noticing that. Then the other day I was with my granddaughter who's 15 years old and she always holds my arm and holds my hands and stuff. And she goes, Nana, your skin feels like silk. And I said, what? I don't even know what that means, how your skin feels like silk, but I started thinking about it and I went, my skin really does feel like silk. It does. And I don't remember that ever happening. The only other thing that I can honestly say is I have never, I can't even remember the last time I wanted to jog. Mark and I have jogged, have been doing a lot of walking together. And I am actually wanting to jog up hills. And I can't believe this. This is really a shock to me. But that's in itself, those things are just phenomenal for me because I've never been one that had aches and pains or anything. But I'm going to kind of segue. And Amy, do you have any questions about Mark or should I just go right into it?
So yes, let's go ahead and talk about Mark because I know he had more issues.
Yes, and I never expected to see anything out of it. And so for this to happen to me was a phenomenal. So anyways, the best part for me though is being able to see, I almost get teared up. Being able to see the changes in Mark in 3.5 months. Just very quickly, I just want you to know he was a 59-year-old man who was a Vietnam vet. And he didn't have high blood pressure, high cholesterol, diabetes, none of these things. He was always athletic. He was always moving. He was a home inspector. He was just very healthy, chasing our kids around, doing all that. And one thing after another kept happening to him. He got a brain lesion. He had a stroke. He had diabetes insipidus. His pituitary gland didn't work. I mean, it's just one thing after another. And we had to see an Agent Orange advocate. To make a long story short, I just have to say that he's had a rough time since 59. He is now 76, young. I think he looks like he doesn't look 76, but he has had some really rough times. So when I ran into Bob in Costco, and thank God Mark saw him, and we heard some of the testimonials, I thought to myself, I'm not going to let Mark be on this without me, but I wanted it for him. I really wanted it for him. And so I'm going to let him go ahead. I want you all to know, though, that that the things that are so important to me is that I know that this is just the beginning and the best is yet to come. And I can't even believe I'll let him take over from there.
I sleep a lot better. That's the first thing I noticed. I used to get up several times during the night. Now I get up maybe twice. The main thing it's done for me is walking. I've always liked to walk. I walk in the beach, walk in the woods, walk anywhere. But it got so painful in my knee that it was very difficult. And I got an x-ray at the VA and they said it's bone on bone. And the solution is to get a knee replacement. But I've already had a hip and a shoulder replacement. I didn't want to go through that again. I used to go to Publix and Linda go up and down every aisle, and I would just go to the front, sit on a bench and wait for it. Like, it was too hard to walk. And then about a month and a half ago, I went to Busch Gardens, and they have this 2.2-mile walk you can do, which I did. And that night I was sitting at home and I said to Linda, I just remember I had no pain, didn't even think about my pain today, which is unheard of for me for the last few years.
Wow.
And it was really an eye-opener. And then about a month ago, we were watching a football game. I cried everything, but the Gators scored a touchdown. I went, oof. What did he say to you?
And yes, and I'll just finish here. He went like this, and I can't believe it. My son was here watching the game, and he went, Dad, your arms are all the way up. He had a right shoulder replacement. His arm never went up past this after physical therapy, and his left one needed to be replaced. And he went like this. And he said to me, oh my gosh, I could think about throwing a ball now and maybe getting back to golf and maybe casting a fishing pole again. And I have to just intervene real fast. I asked him, I didn't have a stool, and I asked him to get something off of the top shelf, and I haven't asked him to help me. I always use a stool. And I just wanted to see what would happen. And he reached up and just pulled everything right off the shelf with both arms. And I mean, this one was bone on bone. Everyone, I want you to know this is very tough for Mark because I think that he's had since 59 to 76, he's had so many things. I mean, he's had heart failure. He's had everything you can imagine. And so I've almost lost him 3 times. So I have to tell you that this is big. This is really big for me and Mark.